What's your car too?
Let's go with the granny flag.
Is that a Supra? Who did it? Come on.
Good one.
We are literally in the middle of this project. You want a continuity problem? Here we are. So, while I'm waiting to do that for more, what we're going to be doing now is first part of the big brake upgrade. So, what we've got are, what rotors did I get? The Mazda 6 rotors? I think. I don't think I got Speed 6. I'm pretty sure I got just the Mazda 6 rotors. And we've got the calipers and pads, brackets. So we're literally going to be doing the big brake upgrade. And as you can see, these are pretty worn out. I've never changed the brakes on this car, and I've had this car for, oh Lord, has to be 5 years, 6 years, something. So we are going to change the brakes. And they've been squealing. The rotors are worn. I mean, and I'm not talking about like the surface rust. I mean, they're worn in, they're squeaking, and it's time. I've already bought everything. So what we got to do is remove the caliper bracket, and then bolt everything else back on. Hopefully we won't lose too much brake fluid. I am going to pull the clip off and get the brake line up. Maybe it won't lose too much. We need to take the cap off under the hood. And I'll get some tools in my little seat. We will be doing the rears as well. I am probably going to do that in a separate video. The rears aren't worn as bad as the front, and the rears are going to cost me a lot more money to do right now, because I'm going to be doing the Mazda Protege, or I guess the Mazda Speed Protege rear brakes, and the core charge is ridiculous for calipers on that. So we're gonna wait a little bit to do those, but the fronts need it real bad. So we're gonna change those, and let's just go ahead and get started. I've already got the car in the air. I'm not gonna put that on video. I've already taken the wheels off. I'm not going to put that on video. So, first things first, really. I'm trying to remember. There's an Allen bolt back here, I believe. That's just a pin. I think that's how that works. And the caliper rotates up and pulls out that way. And then there's some 14mm bolts that hold the bracket on. And we've got a 12mm bolt that holds the brake line on with a banjo bolt. And be sure to remove the cap under the hood to relieve any pressure there might be in there. You don't want to have it blow out on you. And before you do that, get the caliper off and squeeze the piston back in. Try to save your brake fluid. So that's what we're up to. That's what we're getting at. I'm going to grab some tools and at least get the caliper loose first. I need to get my drop light down. And there we are. So far we have the caliper off. It was an Allen, not a 14mm. You loosen that bolt all the way off and it slides right off the pin. As you can see, I've hung it up so that it's not hanging on the brake line. I have not yet broke that loose. I did press the piston back in simply to get all the fluid back in as I can. So where we're at now is I've literally just pulled the brake pads off, and as you can see, they were due for replacement. So what's next is we are going to get our 14mm socket that's somewhere in this bag onto this here ratchet, and we're gonna pull off. Oh my Lord, have mercy, that is like a 17. What am I thinking? And we're listening to Top Gear for anybody who cares. That's got to be a 17, right? Yep. And I got the big ratchet, so hopefully we can get this off. I doubt I can do it one-handed, but... Oh, nope. Gonna get the big bar on that one. So that's what we're gonna do next, is get the bracket itself off, those two 17mm. And once that's off, we're gonna go over here. Please drink responsibly. And we've got the new caliper right here, and it's new, not remanufactured. We're gonna bolt on the new bracket and this caliper, which is significantly larger, and we'll have to end up bleeding the brakes and everything else, but that is what it is. So that's where we're at. I'm going to get that bracket off and get the new one bolted on, and I'll bring you guys back in when we disconnect this and are reattaching the caliper. Wanted to put this on here real quick so you can see the overall difference in size of the rotors. So, I mean, we're talking a good 1/4 inch around the rotor larger. When I get this caliper off, we'll go and compare those to the size of the caliper, and it would probably be easiest just to compare brake pads, really, because it's the braking surface that we're going to be looking at. So I'm going to put this rotor on real quick, and I need to get my brake grease out and bolt on the new caliper bracket. Alright, here we go. So the new rotor is on, the new caliper bracket and caliper is on. Do not forget to use caliper grease. You want to put it on, I'm being sarcastic when I say everything. You want to put it on the back of the pad. You want to put it on the pad clips. You want to put it on the pin. You want to put it on the back of the pad where it's going to be pressing against the caliper, on the outside and on the piston side. I have reinstalled pretty much everything here. The only thing lacking is an actual bleeding of the brakes, which I am in fact dreading, and as you can see, we've got a lot of slop to take up. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go and get a pan, not that it matters because I've made an absolute catastrophic mess. I'm gonna go get a small pan to catch the brake fluid when we actually bleed it. I'm gonna bleed this side first. It's the furthest from the master cylinder. We're only doing the two sides. The other side's obviously not needing bled, but this side does. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna bleed the brakes here, just on this side, and I got to do it on my own. So what I'm basically going to do is I'm going to pull this little cap off right here. Bear with me, I'm trying to listen to Top Gear as while I'm doing this. There we go. We're going to pull this pretty little cute cap off, the bleeder nipple right there. I'm going to get a hose that fits over this. We're going to crack that line loose. I'm going to run the hose into a bottle to catch the fluid, and we're going to pump the brakes a couple times, see if we can put out any air. Hopefully there's not a whole lot in it, and it should be pretty cut and dried. Okay, so we're pretty much done. Bled the brakes. This actually went really quick since no air really got up in them. I actually probably lost more brake fluid than I really needed to. I didn't really spill any. I cleaned up where it dripped earlier, but this side is done. So, I mean, I'm ready to put the wheel back on over here, and we're going to repeat the procedure next door on driver's side, and that's pretty much it. I mean, I'll probably refilm some stuff over there, just the whole procedure. Now that I've done it once and I know what all we need to do, I might just put a new battery in this thing and hit start and do a time lapse for you guys, and we'll go from there. But it really went rather quickly. and I'm overall happy with it. I'm gonna throw this wheel back on real quick and not torque it down or anything, but I'm gonna throw it back on just so this side's done and get everything prepped for the next side, and we're gonna knock that out real quick and hopefully get this thing back on the ground. And then this car will be done as far as mechanical stuff, and I can go back to dealing with my hood windows. And now that we are back on the ground, I have seated the brakes in. I did a couple of 30-mile-an-hour to 5-mile-an-hour braking, not to the floor but close, just to help get them seated in a little bit better. And as you can see, sure do look nice in there, and the feeling is just amazing. Like, they stop with minimal pressure to the pedal. I'm actually really excited to get the back done, but as I said before, this will be a two-part video because I don't have the time or the money right now to do the back, and the back wasn't as worn like the front. But this was definitely a worthwhile upgrade. I highly suggest it to anybody. whether you track your car or not. It's just better, especially if you get a special on Rock Auto for the calipers without having to pay a high core charge. So there we go for our front brake upgrade.
Come on, boy! Come on! Yeah!